Good morning from the Fargo Dome tailgating lots. The Bison pregame show is live and on the air on the first Saturday in December. Playoff football's return to Fargo as North Dakota State opens a quest for a sixth consecutive national championship against the Fighting Toreros, that might be an oxymoron, of San Diego as they are here for their first time. Along with Big E, Eric Peterson, and Jeff Kolpack, I'm Dom Izzo. As the FCS playoffs return, Jeffrey, for the seventh straight year to Fargo, the Bison open with, I've been calling it an unknown team. San Diego is a pioneer school, a non-scholarship team. What do we know about the Toreros?
I call it more of a mystery team when it comes to the playoffs. It's their first ever playoff win for a Pioneer Football League team. Now, what is the Pioneer Football League? Well, we've been getting educated all week, I think. It's a non-scholarship league that was really formed for these Division I basketball schools that didn't want to pay 63 scholarships for football.
Big E, it might have been the greatest FCS playoff upset last week ever, with San Diego knocking off Cal Poly. I'm not sure if the Bison coaching staff will ever admit it, that maybe they breathed a sigh of relief that the triple option wasn't coming back to Fargo when San Diego knocked off Cal Poly.
I don't think you don't breathe a sigh of relief. It's still the playoffs. San Diego was good enough to win that game. I watched a majority of it. Obviously, the field conditions played a factor in maybe Cal Poly not getting going, but San Diego's physical. They stop the dive play, and they have some talented offensive players. Brian Riley, wide receiver, was a big target, 6'3", 200. You know, kind of a Jake Wenicky mold, probably not quite as good as Jake Wenicky. A very good running back in Jonah Hodges, and a quarterback who does a good job of spreading the ball around. So they do present some challenges for the NDSU defense.
68% completion percentage for Anthony Lawrence. Let's visit here on the Bison, Jeffrey. A week off, 23 consecutive times they've won out of the bye week. Describe this team heading into this postseason run. Why do you think they can make another chance at Frisco?
Well, you need that bye week just to get healthy. Now, how healthy are they? We don't know. Will PRG Tucker play today? That's the big question. Yeah. Probably a game-time decision for all we know. It's been widely regarded that he'll probably give it a shot, but we'll see. But more important, I think, it's just the rest for the running backs, the offensive linemen, and really the people that bang up front, and mentally too. You need to get away every once in a while just to mentally refresh yourself.
Would you play Tucker if you could afford not to today?
I think Tucker dresses, warms up, and if you don't feel he's 100%, you don't play him. I mean, you don't want him to re-aggravate it. I know if you lose this game, the season's over, but...
But will one guy make the difference, though?
If PRG Tucker's a difference, they have so many other guys out there. I think they feel comfortable with Chris Board. I think they feel comfortable with Levi Jordheim. That if PRG Tucker's not 100%, those guys can step in to do the job. And the other thing you talk about the bye week, this could be the healthiest the Bison offense has been all season. You know, counting Coonert not being able to play the first two games. Will we see Bruce Anderson? Maybe a smattering of him at running back. But you got all the fullbacks back for a while, you know, with Brock Robbins and, you know, Garrett Malmstrom getting hurt.
Both out.
So I think that's going to be important in the playoffs. If NDSU can get all their offensive pieces back, they can maybe get back to that grinded out time of possession that's been working so well near the end of the season for them.
Kolpack, the last 3 weeks of the season, the Bison rushing attack. I even go back to the Northern Iowa game with the famous 217 they had against UNI. The offensive line, to Big E's point, they were playing at a high level. If that continues, this team is going to be awfully hard to beat in the playoffs.
You know, you talk to offense coordinator Tim Paulson. He says left guard Zach Johnson is playing, in his words, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're talking about he's pancaking guys left and right. Missouri football offensive lineman. He could have had that award 3 straight weeks. He's playing at such a high level.
Big E, this challenge for San Diego, I think everyone will look at non-scholarship. They've played in front of big crowds. They were at Montana a couple years ago, but I don't know to the level of what they're going to see here today. How do they possibly prepare for what they're going to see from this? Because we know the dome crowd in the playoffs goes to another level as well.
You can't prepare, and we won't know that answer till the game starts. Charleston Southern came here the first time. I thought they handled it very well. We've seen other teams come in here not handle it very well.
Washington was pretty good too.
So for San Diego, that first quarter is going to be huge. Can they come out? Can they not make a big mistake early and not give that crowd something to get amped up about? I think that's, if you're Dale Lindsey and the Toreros, you want to try to find a way to get through that first quarter clean from a mistake standpoint.
You mentioned the Toreros coach, who literally has been everywhere in football, both college and professionally. He's in his 4th year at San Diego. Everyone, I think, knows the Torero program because of Jim Harbaugh, but this guy's done a heck of a job over the last couple of years.
You know, I tried counting how many positions he's been in. I counted 21. It goes all from indoor football league to the Canadian Football League to being the D coordinator.
The World Football League, right?
At SMU, the year they got the program back from the probation. Wow. So he's been everywhere. He's kind of old school guy. He doesn't have headsets on the sideline. Lets his coordinators run the show and makes decisions when he has to. I like guys like that. I mean, it's good for the game. It's good for San Diego. And he's in the right spot at the right time. It's a non-pressure position as long as you do pretty well like he is.
How big a deal is this for the Pioneer to finally break through? I think a lot of people, myself included, were thinking it's a wasted bid. It may be taking away from a team that deserves to be in the playoffs. They finally broke through last week.
I think it's great for FCS football. If you're going to have a 24-team field, you need something to validate it. Yeah. And you need games like that where you have a non-scholarship team that has an auto bid to actually win a game. That's really big.
Big E, let's talk about the day as a whole. This is always my favorite day of the whole year. 8 games going on, all of them huge. What game immediately grabs your attention today to be watching?
The 2 ones I really like to look at are Youngstown State at Jacksonville State. I think that's going to be a really good game. Youngstown State's defense has been pretty good all year, very good all year, and it looks like they found a little offense this season, near the end of the season. And with Jody Webb and Martin Ruiz, if they can get some space for those guys, I think they can give Jacksonville State some trouble. And then in Brookings, I think that could be very interesting. Villanova's got a very good defense and a good running game. To be able to beat the Jacks there, you got to be able to run the ball and slow down that high-powered offense. So Villanova has some of the ingredients needed to do that.
Kolpack, this is a huge day for the Colonial. This can be maybe their resurgence that we haven't seen in the last 5 years if, let's say, Richmond wins at North Dakota today. If Villanova wins in Brookings, that's a huge statement. And depending what's going to happen with UNH and JMU, they're automatically going to have a team in the quarterfinals.
You know, remember when we started this media block show about 7 years ago, they were the SEC of the FCS. Yes. You're talking about the CAA. Since then, Missouri Valley has taken that crown from them.
No doubt.
And now it's a chance. You're right. This is a chance for them to get it back.
On the flip side, it's a huge day for the Big Sky. After losing with Weber State last week going out, and then obviously Cal Poly, UND and Eastern Washington carry the flag for the schools today.
I think it's a big game for UND in that regard, okay? Yeah. Is the Big Sky, was a legitimate good league or not? Last week, it was not.
No. The game I'm really interested in is the Citadel against Wofford. I know it's not the flashy game on the schedule. The 2 teams that love to pound the football. It's a rematch game. I'm not happy they're playing this early. But, Jeff, this was an overtime game the first time around. A real chance for a road team to go and pick up a W today with Wofford.
Yeah, you've been on the Citadel all year.
I've been on their bandwagon all year.
But I think Wofford's one of these teams that's really snuck up on people just because I think they've been overshadowed by some of these triple option teams who have gotten more notoriety.
If that happens, by the way, if Youngstown wins and the Citadel wins, what a matchup that would be in a quarterfinal game next week.
Not many passes thrown.
No.
I think this is the week. If you're going to see road wins, this is the week it happens. The deeper you get in the playoffs, it just gets harder for those road teams to win because a lot of times those road teams played the first round. You know, you're traveling cross country. So to me, this is the round where a lot of those road teams have a shot to win.
I want to ask you about Easton Stick now, his second go around in the postseason. We visited with him about this earlier this week. Obviously, he carries that 18-1 record as a starting quarterback for NDSU. How do you think he'll be around in his second go around in the postseason?
You know, I think people forget that he was 3-0 in the playoffs as a starter and played pretty well in that regard too. He's almost a seasoned veteran. You got to remember he's only a sophomore, and it's hard to believe that. But he's a team captain. I think he handles it just fine. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to use his run game much today.
Well, I mean, look at it. What he has, 19 starts?
Yes.
How many career starts does Carson Wentz have?
23. I think it was 23.
He's 4 starts short of Carson Wentz right now, and he has 2 more years left. So he does have a lot more experience than people give it credit for. And I just think people just get so caught up on his passing. But he's a guy who can rip off a 25-yard run. I think when the playoffs come around, all bets are off. You don't protect the quarterback. You don't limit the carries. In the regular season, you control a quarterback's carries. Now, if Easton Stick has to carry it 15 times
a day. So you think the lid is off on that?
Yeah. If they need Easton to run, if they're stacking up the box and stopping the running backs, he's going to have the green light to run it.
I go back, Jeff, to that Montana game last year. The first play of the game, or second play of the game, Stick breaks off a 51-yarder, and literally the game was over after that against Montana last year.
Yeah, Montana really didn't know what hit him after that. But yeah, he has that ability to really take that run game and expand it to the perimeter. I mean, that's something Carson Wentz did not have.
Do you believe that, as Big E says, maybe the lid is off the entire offense, that we're going to see things we didn't see all year today?
I think we'll see how this game goes today. I mean,
I'm not saying you just run them 15 out of the box, but if the running back game's not working,
if it's 6-6 at halftime,
Right. Where the regular season, you're probably thinking you don't want to have them run more than 5 or 6 times designed run plays.
The other thing that was so huge in the postseason run last year was special teams. We look obviously at Bruce Anderson's 2 kick returns for touchdowns, but I also look at the kicking game. Ben LeCompte in the postseason win over Northern Iowa was huge. How big a thing do you think Cam Peterson and Jackson Kuntz could be this year?
First postseason game for Jackson Kuntz, so we'll see how he reacts. But Cam Peterson's experience now, I mean, he's hit some big kicks this year. That game-winning kick at Iowa was about as good as it gets.
I also go back to his 3 field goals in the national championship game over Jacksonville State that got his confidence back for 2016.
Well, not only the field goal kicking, I think his directional kickoffs late in the year has really improved because in the middle of the season, there's a little bit of a special team slump.
Yes.
They're giving up some return yards, at least in the kickoff game. Kuntz obviously is not allowed any return yards. But getting guys like Bruce Anderson back, not only to return kicks, but cover kicks. Getting a guy like Eric Perkins back. Those are hidden yards that this team got last year. And if those 2 are healthy, that's going to be a big, big upgrade for them.
We almost glossed over that. How big a deal is it that Perkins is back?
I was just about to get to that because he's really explosive and he's experienced too. You got a guy who's a senior, a walk-on, and those seniors, I think this time they have to come to the forefront.
This is the healthiest, the Big East point that this team has been all season long. We really haven't seen the Bison lineup that's going to take the field since pretty much fall camp, right?
Well, that's interesting you say, but you're still losing DeLuca and without Tangway.
Offensively for sure. Defensively a little different story.
And we'll see if that translates into using more variety of plays, if you will.
I'm curious on that front. On the defensive side, to up front for the guys like Aaron Steidl and Grant Morgan, Blake Williams. Obviously, Steidl went through the playoffs before. Morgan and Williams, and Darnell, this is going to be their first go-around. Curious to see how they handle the intensity today.
I think it was big in the sense that Tangway's been gone for about a month now.
Yep.
So now you don't have that I wish Nate was here thing. These guys have been the guys. They know they're the guys. They know they're the starters, the backups. They know how many reps they're going to get during the game. So I think that Tangway factor now has been lessened.
What do you think the biggest thing in your mind? If San Diego is to pull the upset today, what do they have to have happen?
They have to be able to run the ball, and then when they run the ball, get some play action. They got a very good tight end, a very good outside right receiver. So if they can establish a running game, and then they got to hold up in their front 7. If NDSU rushes for 250, 300 yards, it's going to be very tough for the Toreros to win this game.
Well, they lead the country in rushing defense, so we'll see.
Topic I've had asked already just walking over here into the Dome today was about Craig Bohl. And I think we should mention that, obviously, for people that watch the blog. Saw the news last night that the Wyoming head coach received a 7-year contract extension in Laramie through 2023. First off, your initial reaction to that, and second, you surprised that he's going to stay?
I'm a little surprised because I thought maybe he'd test the waters, but with that big buyout, this tells me he's not. And I know you're watching, Coach, because he watches our blog, and you know it.
Every time. What do you make of this?
Security, you got $1.4 million a year, a big buyout.
Ooh.
I just think he does not want to rebuild another program. And 2, what job was he going to get? I'm not saying he couldn't jump to a marquee job, but I think it's a lot harder to jump to a very good marquee job that would be enticing than you think. Houston was a job out there we thought
Purdue, I thought, was the one that everybody kept mentioning.
Do you want to go to Purdue? I mean, Purdue is what it is. You're going to go there, you're going to get probably beat up for 3 or 4 years, and you're going to be out of a job. I mean, you'd have to be a very good coach to turn that around because you have Ohio State, Michigan State was that's not changing.
That's a big pay hike too for Wyoming. $1.4 million base. That's a base salary.
That's a massive jump in the Mountain West as well when you look at what other coaches are making. Wyoming plays later tonight in the Mountain West championship game against San Diego State. They win that Kolpack, and they win a bowl game. That's 10 wins this season. That's unbelievable from 2 last year.
Nobody ever saw that coming, did they? Absolutely not after that debacle, if you will, last year.
All right, let's do some predictions here. The game's going on later today. Chattanooga goes to take on Sam Houston State. Bearcat fans have not been happy with me all season long. They think I devalue them, but they haven't played anybody. I think this is the toughest test they're going to have all season, and that's today.
You're just Dr. Strength of Schedule, aren't you? You want me to make a pick here or what?
Go ahead.
Sam Houston State.
Okay.
I know they haven't played the greatest schedule, but they still have talent. They're not a bad team. And
I'm not saying they're bad. I just haven't played anybody.
Well, what are they supposed to do?
They're prisoners of who they play. You're exactly right. I have them taking care of Chattanooga.
Not
today.
me. I'm on the Mocs, because they played Alabama tough just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, Alabama game planned all week for that game.
and they really boat raced Weber State. Weber State was a pretty experienced team.
About the game in Grand Forks today, 5 o'clock kickoff with Richmond and UND.
I don't think a freshman quarterback's going to win that game for Richmond. I got UND winning that game.
I have UND. I think it's close, though. I don't think this is a blowout, Big Andy.
Well, UND is always close.
Yeah, that's their MO. I think it's a 3 to 7 point game today.
UND is good at taking the ball away, plus 17. They needed those two. I mean, some people are saying it was too long of a break with the bye weekend,
3 weeks.
Season bye week, but I think they needed that with Keith Studsrud. UND finds a way to win this game.
The massive game in Brookings is Villanova against South Dakota State. The Jacks off their bye week, first time they've been seeded in a Missouri Valley championship. What do you think?
I think Villanova can keep it close, but I think South Dakota State has a little bit too much. Taryn Christian, Goddard, Winnicky, they find a way to get it done.
The Jacks running game is something that's really come over the last couple of weeks, and I know that USD tried to stop Goddard and Winnicky while they ran so much. I think that's what wins in the football game today.
Well, here's something to look at as we're looking outside here in the Fargo Beer Club tent. That wind's howling. Now, is it howling down in Brookings? That could affect things, and that would favor Villanova. I'm still taking the Jacks in a close game.
Oh, there you go, Kolpack.
That's close.
He likes a tight game. All right, so the game here between the Bison and the Toreros. The last time NDSU played a Pioneer League team, Kolpack was there, the first Division I game in 2004 against Valparaiso. Of course, that was a big Bison win. Biggie, you lead off for us. What do you got?
Well, you know, if we didn't live in this Dom Izzo world of strength of schedule, my dream could come true. So follow me a little bit. Follow me.
Do I have to get up?
No,
okay. You have to go out of the prop bag here, out of the Thanksgiving holiday and into the props.
I gotta get the right zipper open.
We should only have some music to play.
What's this?
What's up with the flip-flops?
I got some flip-flops.
Okay.
I got a little lay going on here.
A little beach action.
What is this? It's like it's like a put it together prop here. The game starts in a little bit here, by the way. You're really okay. And the glasses, yes.
Dom's all about this strength of schedule. Me, I want to be in beach mode. I think this game should be played in San Diego. I think it's time we petition the NCAA to, hey, let's just throw out this strength of schedule. 10-1, 10-1.
Yeah.
San Diego's won 9 in a row. This should be played out in Southern California so I can break out these. But that said, it's not going to be a day at the beach for the Toreros today. NDSU 35, San Diego 17, and I can only dream next year maybe we make a trip out to Southern California.
Now that Coastal Carolina's on the equation.
San Diego's in. I thought you were going to break out Burgundy because Burgundy worked at San Diego. I thought that.
Well, Burgundy worked there, but you know Brock Spack. I can't turn my back on the Spack man. So
I like NDSU today. I think we see their rushing attack lean on that San Diego defensive line. I think the Bison handled them 38-13 today.
I do too. I have the Bison winning by 4 touchdowns, but I got something more important for you guys. Kind of a surprise.
Important.
Well, you guys have been vacationing in the off week in Alabama. You've been doing wedding invitations, all that. I was in Salisbury, North Carolina at the annual Media Blog Awards. Guys, we won the title.
Really? I didn't know wow! I didn't know we were up for. That's too big for the camera shot.
Kolpack, you love pumping your own tires. Is this self-appointed?
It was hard to get on the plane, but I brought it back. Once again, we are number 1.
There we go. I'll try and sneak through the trophy here. Our live blog starts at 2 o'clock on Inforum.com. Of course, come on back. Post-game highlights, reaction on WDAY, and then the post-game show on WDAY and Inforum.com. The Bison and the Toreros to start the FCS playoffs coming up. We'll see you guys after the game.